I'm delighted for the opening fireside chat, which is going to be on the way forward, the generational shifts and the vision of future CVC units, to have two superstars, rising stars, emerging leaders, winners of the past. We've got Anil Achuta, who's the Managing Director of TDK Ventures, and Michiko Katsusan, who's the partner at Woven Capital. Please join us. Thank you very much. Come on, rocket team, early morning. Thank you. Good to see you. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. All right, there you go. Okay, we're going to talk about generational shifts and the way forward for CVCs. Oh, this is bright.
Yes.
Okay, as two Japanese CVCs that have begun recently, we wanted to share some of our learnings about the past, what we've done in the past, what we're doing presently, and what's the future. So, Michiko, you want to say something about Woven Capital?
Sure. I'm Michiko. Good morning from Woven Capital. Woven Capital is a Toyota's growth stage fund, headquarters in Japan, investing globally. We manage a $800 million fund. We're actively investing in the field of mobility. So I hope we can entertain your breakfast.
Us, TDK Ventures, we started in 2019, 350 million AUM right now, 40 investments so far, 2 unicorns, and ticking. So let's get started. Michiko, when you started Woven Capital, what was the top design in and design outs in the design of your CVC?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Sure. One of the things is our fundamental value, which is entrepreneurs first. We believe that CVC can be only successful when our startup founders, startup teams are successful. So that's the fundamental belief, and all of us are passionate about supporting our startup founders. And we established a team called Portfolio Success Team, which is a dedicated team to support our startups to collaborate with our business units and to do, to have the best practice to scale the business. So that's one of the most important things that we try to have it as a system when we created the fund. Also, we are a growth stage fund. So unlike early stage fund, we write a bigger check, and startups are ready to collaborate when we make an investment. So we focus on strategic returns as much as financial returns. Well, financial returns is the most important criteria. We don't make an investment just because we have strategic angles, but we really focus on strategic returns. At the time of investment, we don't need to have an immediate synergies or immediate collaboration, but we would like to make sure that we at least have a roadmap or the plan of action when to collaborate, how to collaborate, and who is responsible for making a collaboration happen. Because that's what startup really expects us to bring when we become an investor and we become a board member. So that's one of the things that we're really trying to achieve.
Super, thank you. From our side, also, on entrepreneurs first core value, most of the design in criteria and design outs was really based upon this entrepreneurs first. So think about an earlier stage fund perspective. Because we're earlier stage, we have a one-step IC. This is one of the main design in considerations. Another one was whether we invest or not, we introduced the startup to TDK business units so that they could collaborate with TDK, again being entrepreneurs first, not portfolio first. The other one was no buy-in from business units to begin with, because we wanted to get into the opportunities first and make sure that we weren't the long pole in the tent. So I would say our entrepreneurs first is also very much in how we add value, slightly from an early stage perspective. So let's go forward to what's happened now in the past 3 years for you. And what is the one most important thing that you've changed since you've started?
Can I mention two?
Yeah, sure.
One of the big changes is that we expanded our mandate as a fund. When we started our fund 3 years ago, we were set up as the CVC arm of Woven by Toyota, which is a software arm, vehicle intelligence arm of old Toyota. So our mandate was very clear and very focused, but very narrow. But since we do focus on strategic returns, if our thesis is too narrow, we can't really make any investment. And also there are a lot of strategic change that happen in our mothership. So we, overall we thought that we can make more impact and we can be more valuable to our mothership, both Toyota and Woven, if we expanded our mandate from Woven only to the whole Toyota. So we reposition ourselves as Woven's fund to Toyota's growth stage fund. And we have a sister fund called Toyota Ventures that covers early stage. So we became the growth stage arm of the whole Toyota. So that's the biggest change that really helped us to expand our activities, expand our team. So we, 3 years ago, we were a small team of 4. I was the employee number 1 in the team. We tried to hire best talent from, all over the world, but the COVID was there. So, and the border to Japan was shut down. So we really struggled to hire the best talent. But now that 3 years has passed and our team has 14, 15 people in the team globally in Japan, US, in Europe. So that's a real progress that we're seeing.
Yeah. I think from our side, the biggest change that we've gone through in the past 5 years since our beginning in 2019 was that we used to be more reactive to opportunities. We used to see one very good startup, our friend sent us, and we all get excited about the entrepreneurs, and we would want to go invest in that startup. But now, I think the concept of being prepared or preparedness has become a central theme in how we invest. We also have now a framework. We call it first principles-based investment thesis method, where we really think about what are the arcs of technology, what is the arc of product, what is the arc of the commercialization, and also scale up, so that we could really see where this could go to find the king of the hill, as we call it, the market leader in about 5 to 7 years. And that really allows us to open up a new exploration into an area, let's say battery recycling, and we would go all in and look at many startups and come back with a very strong thesis, and then figure out how to make exceptions. The other change is also about our investment process, where we have what we call as devil's advocate, where there is a part where we bring a project to our internal IC, where we sit down and discuss about why we should not invest in this company. Actually, everybody at TDK Ventures gives us only reasons why we should not invest in this. So that gives the investment director an opportunity to think about contrarian views and say, okay, this is not the only way this problem can be solved. So those are the two main things that we've changed, going from being reactive to being proactive. So now we go to the most exciting part. What is the way forward? Because we are really thinking about generational shifts in CVC, and 2024 is going to be a tough year for all VCs and CVCs. So what is your thought on how CVCs can move forward in a very positive way?
Sure. Before joining Woven Capital, I was a financial investor, and then I also served as a CFO of an AI startup in Japan. And when I was at a startup, what I desire the most to our investors is that, we always wanted support on our business expansion. A lot of different investors said, oh, we can bring value, we can help you, but the real thing we wanted was help on business expansion. And I believe CVCs can bring more than capital, and they can be super helpful in terms of business expansion, leveraging, our business units, our supply chain, massive corporate network, introduction to the right parties, key persons, and we have production know-how. So there are a lot of different ways that we can bring concrete value to startups. And I think such corporate platform or asset or like something ecosystem that we have is huge asset to CVCs and to startups. And I think it's a huge alpha, the source of superior return as an investor. So we hope to leverage that more, and I hope we can collectively, collaborate, because we all have slightly different ecosystems. So if we work together as CVC, we can be more powerful to startup, and we can play a bigger role in making a difference in the startup ecosystem. One more thing I would like to say is, for future CVCs, I strongly believe that we need more diversity. Not only gender diversity, but in terms of professional backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, because our job fundamentally is to bridge two different worlds, which is rapidly changing global startups and the big corporate, which tends to have, uniformal culture, which tends to have a lot. In many cases, yes, and which tends to have a strong culture. So we would like to we would like to understand different cultures, different contexts, different businesses, so that we can be a good, sometimes translator, or we can be a collaborator to bridge those two. So diversity.
Diversity of thought.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. Thank you for that. I would say the first thing from our perspective on the next generation of CVCs would really start from incentivizing everybody in the team to add value to the entrepreneur. And that starts from incentives. If you have the right incentives, everybody will behave in the right sort of way to add value to the entrepreneur, which is, for us, is the financial motive to be able to say we have skin in the game. The second thing that we believe is going to be the way forward would be the ecosystem play. And this ecosystem play, as you mentioned, Michiko, is such a critical part to the growth of the startups that we invest in and the startups that we don't invest in. People who are service providers, being able to introduce them to customers. And think of Toyota or TDK, our customers are so broad and wide and deep. If we are able to learn how to make the right introduction at the right time, it cannot be at every time. We cannot force it on the mothership as well, because that can be very negative. But if we figure out how to do this right, I believe that we could be a superpower. And I could challenge everyone here that we will be better than most other financial VCs. And even the financial VCs do not have the kind of network that we have from the supplier perspective, from the ecosystem standpoint. So maybe at some point we will have a Sequoia Capital or Lightspeed coming to us for deal flow.
Definitely.
So we've got 2 more minutes. Is there any last words of wisdom from what you've learned in the past 3 years on building the CVC, on both challenges and opportunities?
Challenges and opportunities. One thing I'm learning is, VC investing is a long-term business. A lot of ups and downs in the market, in the startups, lots of dramas, and lots of things happening in the corporate side. So we really need to be, patient enough to pursue the long-term goal. We're not trying to achieve something super easy. Our goal is super, challenging. So we really need time to make one big change happen. At the same time, as I mentioned in the beginning, I see a lot of progress in my team, in terms of expansion of mandate team, and I'm really excited to see all the things happening step by step. So I really look forward to, working with, a lot of different startups. I met with a lot of interesting startups here at GCVI, so we hope we can be more and more active this year.
Yeah.
How about you?
From our side, I would say power law is everywhere. It's incredible how power law works. And that's something that I'm learning very, very, almost on a daily basis on some of our recent companies, how they're growing. The second thing is really understanding how to do follow-on investments. It's a real art. And either we double down or quit, right? That's a real sort of nuance that we're learning. And I don't know if we still have the best practice here. So I would love to learn from each one of you how you guys do follow-on investments and what your policies are and so on. That's it. Our time is up. But thank you so much for giving the opportunity. And I wish everyone a wonderful GCV.
Thank you.